Okay. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. This is Voicebawx. It is the 17th of March, 2020. It is now 7:30 a.m. EST, and we are actually on the air finally. I seem to have messed with my settings yesterday in an effort to make things better, and I didn't make them any better. But that's okay. We're back and we're ready to go. So we'll be going on a little later than normal. Anyways, if you're watching this podcast on Twitch, make sure you hit that little bell icon to get a notification whenever you can on your Twitch app, if it's on your phone or I guess on your computer. I see that my mother is watching. Hello, mother. Hello, mom. I've got the mug you gave me all those years ago. I drink out of it every day. It's my favorite mug. And where was I? I lost my train of thought. That's okay. Anyways, this podcast is the kind of podcast you don't have to watch. You can just listen real close, because I'm going to read the articles out loud for you, and yeah, you can go about your day and do whatever you need to do. But it's all good news all the time, only good news. So let's get started with something from the Dodo, quickly becoming one of my favorite websites for good news and cute animals, which are great. This one is from, it looks like, Lily Fine. I believe we've read from her before. Let me switch over here real quick. Squirrel knocks on woman's door just when she needed a friend. My back door, well, we're not going to read that because it's always part of the article. I always do that. It was one of the hardest weeks in Michelle Burleson's life. She had just returned from the vet after having taken her beloved dog of 13 years, Budgie Lou, to be put down. That's sad. It's always hard. It's always tough to put an animal down that you love. There seemed to be nothing in the world that could ease her pain, that is, until she heard a faint knocking on the door. My back door was closed and I heard these tap, tap, taps on it, Burleson said. I went to investigate, but I saw nothing until I looked down to see a skinny little squirrel staring up at me. Let's see what this is going to be, huh? I guess that's a picture of the squirrel. No, it's a different article, different kind of squirrel, I guess. Yeah. Anyways, when I opened it, she didn't run away, Burleson said. We just kind of looked at each other. Burleson also noticed that the squirrel was thin and her coat looked patchy, so she found a handful of nuts and tossed them onto the patio. She assumed that would be the end of that. But at the same evening, the squirrel returned, peeking her head back at the back door. The skittish animal darting away when Burleson tried to approach her, but it didn't take long for the two to establish a routine. And here's a picture of the little devil, huh? Little squirrel. That's adorable. Unless it's just not the same. It might not be the same squirrel. I wouldn't know one squirrel from another. I'm not sure if that's speciesist, but that's alright. It's a cute squirrel. That's all that matters, really. She showed up the next morning at sunrise and again at sundown, like clockwork every day, Burleson said. Her consistent daily visits gave me something to look forward to. Burleson named the squirrel Stymie, and for the first time she could feel the weight of her grief lift. Stymie, too, became plumper and happier. We slowly started trusting each other more and more, Burleson said. At first I was scared she might bite me or something, but she was always very gentle. Aww. Now here's a video. We can watch that here. Let's just watch the little video. There's a... Oh, that is precious. Look. There you go. Oh, man. This gives me a chance to drink some coffee. That is just precious. Alright. Let's pause. Stymie began treating Burleson's home as if it were home, drinking out of Burleson's old dog bowl, and sleeping in the dog bed. Oh, wow. For the most part, Burleson had an open-door policy, though sometimes the squirrel still had to knock when she wanted to be let in. She would hang out for a few hours a day at her spot on the couch or in my lap. I lived at the beach, so I oftentimes leave the door open or cracked for the breeze, but when I didn't, she'd climb up on top of my surfboard rack outside and bang on the window outside my bedroom. Is this another video? It is, and she has a little Twitter and everything. That's cool. Inspired by Stymie and the memory of her dog, Budgie Lou, Burleson decided to do something to give back to the animals. She founded Budgie Lou Brew Coffee and Company, an artesian roasting company. They gave a portion of their profits to senior dog rescue and hospice, as well as advocating for older sheltered dogs. There's no way it would have happened without Stymie showing up one day and putting a little joy back in my life, Burleson said. Some of my friends half joked, saying that she was Budgie or my family reincarnated. Yep, there's the squirrel right there, just drinking out of the dog bowl. When Burleson decided to start her dream company, she sold everything she owned and began traveling the world. Oh, this means that she had to say goodbye to Stymie, breaking her heart all over again. I can't deny that I cried my eyes out the last time I walked out the door, Burleson said. As I drove away, I saw her run out in my rearview mirror, standing on her hind legs watching me. I turned the car around one last time to say goodbye. Stymie is still living in the redwood tree in Burleson's old backyard, and the little squirrel probably has no idea she changed someone's life forever. She was a really great friend at one of the lowest points of my life, Burleson said. All I know is animals are the best. That is the sweetest thing. It's a shame they had to leave the squirrel behind, but, you know, squirrel is a squirrel. Probably didn't want to leave anyways. Anyways, let's move on to the next article here. We got quite a few to get through today. This one is about the UN and food programs that are, we'll read about it because I'm not... Copy that and paste it right on in. This one comes from cnet.com, written by Justin Jaff, October 16th, 2019. So it's yesterday's news, but it's still good news. I always do yesterday's news because it takes me a long time to collect all of these. Let's begin. The UN World Food Program is looking for a unicorn, to help end hunger by 2030. You can see one of the workers, I would assume, trying to help. Looks like this one's Isaac Sessi's grain moisture meter, designed to help poor farmers in Ghana. That'll be interesting to see if what happens with that. The pitches contained the same. Wait, hold on. Did we miss something? I guess this is the beginning of the article. Okay. The pitches contain the same buzzwords you hear at any tech event in Silicon Valley: blockchain, AI, big data. But while many startups trafficking in such of the moment technologies claim to be making the world a better place, these companies are doing exactly that. On Tuesday evening, the United Nations World Food Program held its first innovation accelerator pitch contest in the U.S. at Google's headquarters in Mountain View, California. Sessi Technologies, a company based in Kumasi, Ghana, that makes a grain moisture meter, won the jury's prize for most impactful pitch. Coming from India, Iraq, and the U.S. and other countries, Sessi was one of 11 startups on stage showing off a diverse set of concepts. The ideas including a portable refrigerator that runs without electricity. Oh, wow. A hydroponic platform for growing food in harsh environments such as deserts, slums, and refugee camps. Bernard Cowich, head of the Innovation Accelerator, characterizes the WFP's mission as an inversion of the typical Silicon Valley objective, getting a $1 billion unicorn valuation. The UN says that 821 million people around the world don't have enough to eat on a daily basis. We want to get to zero, says Cowich. Here's another CEO, it looks like. Finnick CEO Quang Truong shows off the Yuma Cooler, which keeps fruits, vegetables, and beverages and dairy products cold without electricity. Look at that. I don't know exactly what that is, but it's very interesting looking. Looks very high-tech. Anyways, that won't be easy, though. The number of hungry people has decreased over the past 30 years. There were more than 1 billion in 1990. A combination of increasing political instability and climate change threatens to slow or reverse this progress. Given the enormous challenge it's undertaken, the UN is looking for technology to help. For the past 4 years, the WFP has been recruiting and cultivating entrepreneurs in the U.S. and abroad who can address hunger-related issues in the world's poorest countries, including Bangladesh, South Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. In addition to funding and operational support in the field, the Innovation Accelerator gives startups exposure to people and resources that may be scarce in their countries. This week, the WFP teams consulted with some of the world's foremost experts in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and hardware manufacturing from Google and other Bay Area tech firms. This experience has been amazing, said Isek Sessi, co-founder of Sessi Technologies. Raw materials, equipment, and talent are hard to come by in Ghana. We are pioneering the hardware industry from scratch there. CoWatch says that the organization fielded roughly 4,400 applicants over 4 years and dispersed more than $60 million to 66 teams, including some that have come up from within the WFP. The organization doesn't take an equity position in any of the startups it funds. Investors and institutions have followed, giving 8 of the WFP teams more than $69 million in additional funding. That's real money. And yet it's a drop in the bucket for the World Food Program, which operates on a staggering scale. The organization has 17,000 staff in 83 countries. It raised more than $7 billion in 2018, including more than $2.5 billion from the U.S. government, which is by far the largest contributor. In addition to nurturing startups, the WFP sponsor projects covering a wide range of activities, including providing food, building roads and bridges, digging wells, and dispersing cash, more than $1.7 billion in 2018 alone, to vulnerable communities. The magnitude of the program's audacious goal, eliminating hunger by 2030, is difficult to comprehend. But the WFP's startup helped crystallize the specific multifaceted challenges people are facing in the world's poorest regions and the incredible meaningful implications of the technologies and solutions they're working on. Some of them take the shape of what you would expect to see from a typical startup, though profits are subordinate to the larger mission. Share the Meal, the WFP's homegrown fundraising app, has collected donations from more than 1.5 million people to pay for more than 45 million meals. The organization says it can deliver a $10 return for every $1 donation, as measured by education, health, and productivity gains. Here's another picture here. We'll start going over those later. Others are less conventional. Born out of a student project at MIT, the Finnick Yuma 60-liter cooler keeps fruits, vegetables, beverages, and dairy products cold without electricity. It's a modern take on the ancient Zier pot. The Yuma uses evaporative cooling, a process that requires only water to extend the shelf life of food by 3 to 5 times, according to the company. There's a picture of the cooler right there. I'll go ahead and go back up to it so you can see it. See if I can X out this very distracting ad. And this other distracting ad. There we go. That's nicer, much nicer. Finnick has raised more than $80,000 for the project on Kickstarter. The cooler retails for $150 in developed countries, and Finnick uses some of the proceeds to subsidize the price for disadvantaged customers in Morocco, where it has piloted the technology. Another WFP, H2 Grow, has developed a hydroponic platform for growing food in impossible places, such as Algeria and Chad. It requires no soil and uses 75% less space and 90% less water than a traditional farming plot of the same size. For an additional investment of $100, it can produce enough fresh barley to feed 10 goats per day. I'm pretty sure goats eat more than I do, so... How many people is that? I guess barley isn't really something that people eat, so it wouldn't matter. Without it, the goats would eat garbage, passing on toxins and other potentially harmful substances to people who drink their milk and eat their meat. In contrast to the quote-unquote frivolous missions of some blockchain companies, the WFP says it has found real-world uses for cryptographic technology. The organization's Building Blocks initiative has leveraged blockchain technology to manage the logistical and financial data underpinning the delivery of food assistance to more than 100,000 Syrian refugees in Jordan. Sessi and his team are scheduled to fly back to Ghana on Friday. When they return, they'll continue their work developing the Grain Mate, a project with the potential to help the nearly 7 million Ghanaians who live below the poverty line. In a technology landscape cluttered with many mindless, narcissistic, and self-serving pursuits, Ceci's mission is unassailably worthy. When asked about the likelihood of achieving the UN's goal of ending world hunger by 2030, mind you, that's in 10 years. 10 years they want to do this. Cowich displayed optimism characteristic of Silicon Valley entrepreneurs. "I believe we can get there," he said. This is excellent technology right here. It's one of the reasons why I love CNET. They're a little wordy, but this is absolutely excellent technology for anyone, really. It doesn't even just have to be used by less fortunate countries, I should say. But, people like us, here in America, we can use it too and lower our impact on the environment. And I think that's a pretty cool idea. I think all the things that are in here are pretty cool. Let's move on to the next article. That one was very long, and if you'll permit me, I'm going to go ahead and drink some water here. So give me just a moment while I bring up the article. Alright, so this article comes from Sunny Skies, yesterday, March 16th, 2020. And unfortunately, Sunny Skies does not provide article authors, so you'll have to forgive me for not knowing it. But let's begin. 93-year-old woman who waves to school bus every morning gets a birthday surprise. Every morning, Bonnie Linder from Hartley, Iowa, wakes up early and waits for the school bus. As soon as she sees it coming down the road, she gives the kids and the driver a big wave. On Sunday, she celebrated her 93rd birthday, so on Friday, the bus driver and the kids on board had a big surprise for her. "My mother will be 93 on Sunday, and it warms my heart to see this simple yet powerful act of kindness," Bonnie's daughter Judy Zimmerman wrote on Facebook. "As I visit from Texas, know that there is and always will be a sense of love for the small communities in Iowa where good still exists and joy is found." And we have a video here, so why don't we watch that? I can't get the whole thing in the window, so here we go.
Barreling down the road. Are you out so they can see you?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, Jerry, you're a funny one.
Oh, that is just so nice.
Happy birthday, Bonnie!
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Oh,
I want to wish you a happy birthday. Have a good one.
I hope it is.
oh my gosh.
Oh, my land. Oh, that would have been too bad to miss, wouldn't it?
Yes, that was fun.
Isn't that just nice? I love seeing things like that. It's just... I don't even know what to say. It's just so cute. That's so cute. That's so adorable. That's just... I think everybody needs to see something like that in the morning. That's why we do this here at Good News Daily. Let's get back to the cute and the cuddly with another Dodo article by... Well, we'll see here in a minute because I don't have it up, obviously. Oh, before we continue, here's kind of what the same concept of that refrigerator from the article two articles ago. Wow, that's difficult to say. You can see here, it's called a pot-in-pot refrigerator, and if you're interested in making your own, you probably can, with some help from Wikipedia, and maybe a DIY website. You can see there's a little article right here. A little, not an article, but like a diagram. We're going to go ahead and continue, though, because maybe I'll do that myself later, pot-in-pot refrigerator. I love environmentally safe and green technology. Alright, so here we are. We are with the dodo in their close to home section. I was going to get some coffee, but I'm not going to do that right now. Newborn Kitten is still getting the hang of this grooming thing. By Caitlin Jill Sanders, published on the 12th of March 2020. Jack and his family came into the care of Cindy Congdon, an avid foster mom, at the end of February from the Seattle Humane Society. He and his 2 siblings were only a week old, and their mom was so happy to have a safe place to care for her babies. As the weeks go on, the tiny kittens are getting bigger every day. Oh, look at it. He's got his little tongue out. He's sticking it out. And are slowly learning the ins and outs of how to be a cat. I didn't know cats had to learn how to be a cat. I guess maybe everybody has to learn something. There's another picture of the kittens. Oh. Last week, Congdon was holding Jack's tiny body when he suddenly began to try to groom himself. It looks like we've got a video here and a post from Instagram. Let's go ahead and watch the video because I want to see this. No sound, but oh, there is sound. Oh, his eyes are open. He's trying. Look at how precious and small and fluffy he is. Good Lord. Oh, man. Oh. Yeah, they're cute until they start knocking cups off your table, huh? And Congdon was more than happy to lend a little support as he learned. Jack seemed pretty sleepy as he gave the grooming thing a try and likely stopped after a while to take a good long nap. The tiny kitten is still getting the hang of the whole grooming thing, but he did a pretty good job for his first go-round, and his foster mom couldn't be more proud. As the weather warms up, lots of kittens like Jack here will need someone to hold them and while they eat their feet and show off their belly button. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. I was like, wait a minute. Congdon wrote on her Instagram account. Congdon often compares Jack to a tiny polar bear cub, and there's no doubt he's only going to get cuter as he continues to learn and grow with the help of his awesome family. I freaking love kittens. I just love kittens. They're so great. We got some coronavirus news here, a coronavirus warning, I guess. But it's good news, sort of. No news about a virus is really good news, because if it weren't for it, then we wouldn't need things like this. But in times of trouble, it's nice to see people coming together and doing nice things for each other. So here we go with Good News Network's corner store owner gives away more than $6,000 in free goods to seniors preparing for quarantines. This was written by Good News Network, March 16th, 2020. A Scottish convenience store has given away thousands of dollars in free toilet paper, antibacterial hand wash, tissues, and anti-inflammatories, and that's one of the most important, I would say, right there. You know, the tissues, the toilet paper, all the antibacterial stuff, that's important too, but anti-inflammatories are something that I guess I didn't even think about when you know, if I were to think about what would I bring a senior citizen for the preparations for quarantines, I wouldn't even have thought about anti-inflammatories, but you know, that is important for older folk or anybody who's got like knee or joint problems. So might be something to keep in mind if you intend on doing something similar, is not just food, water, that kind of thing, but also anti-inflammatories. Anyways, to seniors staying home amidst the novel coronavirus warnings. Customers over the age of 65 with those mobility issues facing self-isolation can either pick up the free goods at the day-to-day convenience store in Drylaw, Edinburgh, or have the coronavirus kits delivered to their house for free by calling the shop. 34-year-old shop owner Zahid Iqbal has already given away more than 1,000 kits, and he says it sets a good example for consumers and businesses as shop shelves have been left bare from panic buying. So apparently it's not only here in America that people are panic buying, it's everywhere. Since each pack costs around €5 to make, which I think translates to around $7 or $8 here in America, Iqbal says the initiative has already cost his business a whopping 5,000 euros. Euros, around $61,000 or $6,100, not including the cost of fuel for home deliveries. He's also considering making food bags with pasta and tinned goods, as panic buying leaves store shelves empty and makes supermarkets struggle to meet demand. We've given away more than 1,000 now, and that's just over the weekend, says Iqbal. It's a time when we need to stick together. The idea came to Iqbal while accompanying his parent to a local supermarket where they encountered a shocking number of empty shelves. We have lots of customers from the local care homes as well as disabled customers who can't get hand sanitizers, loo rolls, or anything at all. And a loo roll is a bathroom roll, toilet paper, for those of you who are not familiar with the nomenclature or terminology. We just want to set a good example in this world. The family-run store, which currently employs 5 people, has served the local community for more than 15 years. Although they have received a flood of requests for the coronavirus kits, Iqbal believes his loyal customers are worth every penny during these times of uncertainty. I had to get staff in to do these deliveries, and petrol's not included, said Iqbal. We've done quite a few deliveries to people who can't get out and collecting. A lot of new people have been coming in, showing appreciation as well, and promising they'll shop local in the future. Lots of nice gestures. The appreciation we've been getting has been out of this world, he added. You couldn't get this kind of satisfaction if you spent thousands of pounds. It's amazing. He said the shop has been refusing to take donations for the kits, but day to day may reconsider accepting financial contributions in the future depending on how things turn out. Money can be made in the future, said Iqbal. You don't want to make your money by putting your prices up in a situation like this. People remember that after it's all over. Right now, we need to do our part for the community. I think it's very important. I can feel how other people feel out there, he added. We want to help out for as long as we can manage, and everybody needs to be doing their bit. This week, I plan on doing food bags. If we run out of toilet rolls, then the next thing we want to do is pasta. If there's a lockdown, people need to be able to look after themselves. The satisfaction you get helping people out is just amazing, he concluded. And as you can see, he's got pictures of himself and others helping, I assume family members and friends helping each other out, or helping out the people as they look for things and try to get things. It's good to see people come together. Oh, that was a bot. Okay, I got a bot on my stream chat. Maybe I should probably bring the stream chat over here so you guys can see it, and so I can see it a little easier as well. I'll just put it right over here. I'm still learning how to make all these things work together. It's new stuff to me. Yep. There we go. There we go. Okay. Sorry for the delay. Let me take some more coffee here. We've got quite a few articles to go through, even now. That cup always makes me mad. It always gets all over my face because it's got such a wide rim, but it's got Eeyore on it, and that makes it worth drinking out of. Alright, so let's continue on with another good article. This one comes from CNN. And it comes from, and I just thought this was interesting. I don't always do just good news, but we break it up with some interesting things. And this one comes from CNN Style under the architecture heading. Excuse me. How architect Miriam Kamara is masterminding a sustainable future for Niger. updated on the 16th of March 2020. That's a very interesting looking home. Here we go. This one's been here we have an author this time. That's nice. This one was written by Neo Maditla. I'm so sorry for butchering that name. Neo Maditla. Let's get started. For Niger-born architect Miriam Kamara, the 2018 Rolex Mentor and Protégé Arts Initiative presented her with a tremendous opportunity. The 2-year program, which pairs emerging creative talents with masters in their field, saw her working under the guidance of British Ghanaian architect David Adjei, and allowed her to realize her dream of designing an art center in Niger's capital city, Niamey. I'm hoping I didn't butcher that too. But it also exposed her to the most formidable and outspoken critics yet, a group of high school students. That's interesting. Though the West African country has one of the youngest populations in the world, literacy rates are low, so Kamara, who founded sustainable design practice Atelier Masomi in 2014, felt it was necessary to create a center that responded to their needs. What I had the privilege to do is really allow the students to guide what this project becomes, she said over the phone. So before Rolex even saw a glimpse of it, I went through the much scarier task of showing it to them. I was nervous because I wanted to make sure that the things we talked about found their way into the design. And that is an artist's rendering of the Niamey Cultural Center, designed by Miriam Kamara. There we go. That's a very, very interesting looking building. I would just like to see that in person. Wow. I love unique architecture, so... The students told her they wanted a place to read and participate in the arts that reflects their identities as Nigerians, while also looking to their future. To meet that request, Kamara unveiled her plans for an art center that also houses an auditorium, a gallery, and the city's first public library last year. Very good. Once completed, construction begins this summer. The Niamey Cultural Center will be a place for learning, creativity, and community building. And this is a picture of architect Miriam Kamara. That's her right there. Look at that. They actually got a picture of the person who works on it for once. I like it when they put pictures of the people who are doing the projects in the articles. Like her previous projects in the city, so apparently she's been doing this for a while. 2014, I'm not sure if she's been working before then, but that's okay. Like her previous projects in the city, the Cultural Center will be built using compressed earth bricks, a breathable material responsible... One second, let me have some water, Okay, let's try that again. A breathable material responsive to Niger's desert climate and a reflection of local vernacular architecture. The design encompasses 4 155-foot curved towers that not only help to cool the interior of the main building by facilitating natural ventilation, but also create shaded public courtyards and passages that are accessible to all. I know there are people who may not feel they can enter this large structure because it's very intimidating. So I asked what it means to create a space for everyone. My answer is that it can't just be one big building. I am interested in a structure where you can have a promenade that allows you to be in a space without having to go in. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. The center's location along the valley, between the French colonial part of the city, where the wealthy reside, and the side where the less well-off live, is also significant. Kamara hopes the center will encourage disparate societal groups to come together. Kamara left Niger to attend university in the United States in 1997. Originally qualifying as a computer scientist in her 30s, she decided to follow her passion for architecture and retrain at the University of Washington. So shout out to the University of Washington for helping make all of this possible. So here we go. This is another building that Kamara has headed up in terms of projects, I guess. Kamara's Hikmah Religious and Seminar Complex in Dandaji, Niger was completed in 2018. I almost said last year. It's 2020 now. Though Kamara now splits her time between Niger and Providence, Rhode Island, it's her projects in her home country, blending contemporary and traditional influences, that have earned her the most acclaim and accolades, including the prestigious Prince Claus Award last year. Her design for a market in the remote village of Dandaji, which includes colorful recycled metal canopies surrounding a sacred tree, has become a vital space for vendors in the region to do trade. And Hikmah, the religious and secular complex she designed for the same village in 2018, saw Kamara transforming a derelict Hausa mosque into a library with the help of some adobe masons who originally built it, and created a new, larger mosque alongside it from materials sourced within the 3-mile radius. The project was made in collaboration with Iranian architect Yasaman Ismaili, yes, with whom she co-founded the global initiative United for Design in 2013. The two also co-designed the Niamey 2000 low-cost residential project in 2016. And here you can see the colorful metal things, the canopies that she helped design for the city of Niamey, right here. Kamara said the limitations of working in a country with so few resources has forced her to hone her approach. There is something very useful about that scarcity. It clarifies your thinking. It makes you think about space rather than bells and whistles. You cannot hide a bad space when you don't have access to shiny things, she continued. It becomes more about what the space is doing and how it is bringing people together. That, for me, is what architecture is about. And that was her speaking there. She feels that it is especially important at a time when construction has become a significant contributor to pollution in large cities. It is impossible to ignore all the climate-related issues, she said. We need to figure out what progress looks like when it's not fed by exploitation, and to recognize our mistakes in terms of construction, material, and resource depletion. Now Asia, South America, and Africa can be trailblazers. For me, that means there is an opportunity to make a real contribution. I like seeing progress like this. Progress like this is important to the future of mankind. And it's good news when we have people out there that are doing things like this in faraway places that need it. And that's why I chose that article for today's, or part of today's presentation. We're going to move on to something from Fox News now. It's more coronavirus stuff, but it's sort of good. And I think there's a video. It's a video which will give you some time to drink some coffee, but here we have, let me switch over. Here we have a quarantined Italian singer who serenades from his balcony. And I'm hoping that it will, maybe I should start putting these videos in early so that they can get better quality. But it doesn't look like it's gonna load. So we're just gonna go ahead and start the video. And let's listen to some Italian singers serenade off the balcony.
America's biggest cases.
After a short commercial break that I
all month on
did
Fox
not
Nation.
anticipate.
Right now, you can get your first month for only 99 cents. Sign up at foxnation.com to start watching for just 99 cents. True justice, served all month long only on Fox Nation.
An Italian tenor is finding a way to help lift spirits with his country on lockdown.
Oh, wow.
Maurizio Marcini and his wife Chiara Bagnoli join me now from Florence, Italy, and it's a real pleasure to have you on the show because I don't know if you know that the internet was ablaze with your beautiful singing. Tell me a little bit about why you wanted to bring that beautiful music to your fellow citizens.
Okay, hello, I'll be the interpreter for my husband. Okay. Allora, come si deve
È stato un flash mob tutto italiano, alle 6 ci si vedeva alla finestra o al balcone di casa e tutti i musicisti italiani facevano una esibizione.
So the idea came out from this flash mob, which we did not organize. We don't know who did it. And it was a flash mob on Friday, 13th at 6 p.m. The idea was to go out on our balconies, the terraces and gardens and make some music all together. That's why he sang.
Chiara, what is it like there for you there as you're quarantining, you're in your house, you're listening to officials. It's been a few days and you've got many more to go. Tell us a little bit about what that's like.
Oh, well, I think today it's day 6, but I'm not sure because we've lost track of time. And, well, it's strange. I'm kind of a potato couch, so I don't mind being at home, but it's difficult to not go out, and it's a strange situation. The streets are deserted, and we cannot see my parents, for example. We cannot see his mother or my parents, so it's difficult. It's strange and difficult, but we hope it will pass soon.
Maybe you could ask Maurizio, and maybe you could answer this question, which is, in the last minute we have, and hi to your little guy there. I love this as we Skype together. How important it is to express yourself with music in these times.
Quanto è importante esprimersi con la musica in questo momento?
La musica, come tutta l'arte, è l'unica cosa che può sollevare gli spiriti, gli animi delle persone. Chi sta soffrendo veramente sono i malati, ma anche chi li aiuta. E io sono solo un artista e posso solo aiutare col mio canto, con la mia arte, a dargli più energia.
So music can lift up spirits, and now there are many people who are suffering, and not only the people who have this virus, but also all the people who are helping them, so doctors, nurses, etc. And so he's trying to help them in the way he can. So he's a singer and he sings.
Maurizio and Chiara and your little guy there, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us.
And that was that. It's good to see, I guess, that people are trying to lift each other's spirits in these trying times all over the world, and he's got a heck of a voice. That was impressive. I'm pretty sure the whole city heard him. That's probably a good thing. We've got another. Let's step away. Let's step away from the coronavirus for a moment and go into something that is a little, or I guess a lot cuter. Let's get away from the somber and start something else. Here we go. It's another video. Today, what we've got here is a video called, it's from the Dodo, and it's called Monkey Rides Her Dog BFF Everywhere. I almost said BB-8. We have noise for this? We have sound? Oh, I don't know what I just did.
She's doing her taxes.
Did I just change it?
Her docs to
Oh, here we go. Okay.
And a tax pro does the rest. Tax Pro Go. Expert tax prep without the office visit. It's better with Block.
This is not the video I wanted.
He'll start off on the carpet so you don't hear him. And then he'll very slowly
still
put
adorable,
one
though.
paw on the kitchen floor until he thinks it's quiet enough, and it gently puts his other paws down. He doesn't make noises. He won't make eye contact with you because he thinks if you see him and he sees you, then he's caught. He was around 7 months old, in my kitchen, and I just watched him walk across the kitchen floor, tiptoeing to his own food bowl. And I thought, something has to be wrong with this dog. Take him to the vet, everything's fine. He legitimately does it to try to steal food or to make himself available in case I drop some food, or he can steal from the trash. He's sneaky.
He's a sneaky dog.
He did it every once in a while when he was a puppy, but the last 2-3 years, he's constantly tiptoeing.
Why? I mean, that's cute, but I'm confused.
The only thing that will get him to stop tiptoeing is if you call his name. And once you look away, he'll just resume his tiptoe like nothing ever happened.
Oh my
He
gosh.
knows exactly when he's caught. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Milt, what are you doing?
He knows everything. I don't know why he's so smart. If you tell him to look at a light, he'll look at a light. If you tell him to sit on the chair,
Go sit on the chair. Come on.
he sits on the chair.
Oh my gosh.
Good boy.
That's so cool.
I don't know how he knows. He just knows.
But why are you tiptoeing to your own food bowl, my dude? That is my question for you.
Milton is a master creeper. I can't even fathom him not being a Milton.
Oh my gosh. Well, special thanks to Milton, Danielle, and the Thulin family for that video. That was amazing. I'm glad that we made the mistake. Well, I'm glad we made the mistake of accidentally finding that video because I messed up something. Let's get back to what we were originally gonna watch. Monkey rides her dog BFF everywhere. Let's go ahead and turn the sound back on
Pivot hole beside her.
and bring this back up.
What did you think of the book?
It's a masterstroke of heartache, brutality, and redemption.
You didn't read it, did you?
I didn't, but I will.
The Lexus NX. Modern utility for modern obstacles. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Apparently Lexus will allow you to let me get rid of that. Hold on. There we go. A little monkey. Just like hangs out on the back. They're just eating grass together. Aww. It's like riding a horse. Oh.
What are you doing?
Oh. Well, that was pretty freaking adorable, I'd say. You never really can get enough of that. Alright, let's see what we've got next on the docket here. Let me go ahead and pause the video so it doesn't try to play another one. There we go. I don't need to find anything. Where was I on the... Here we go. I've got two more things on the docket for today. First one's just something I thought was interesting, and I think you guys might like it as well. It's a video about how do you keep a space station clean. BBC Future wrote this one, or I guess I should say Richard Hollingham. 12th of March 2020. This is more weekend news I must have missed out on earlier. That's alright. Let's go ahead and go over to the article. The astronauts and cosmonauts on board the International Space Station have brought with them a host of bacteria from Earth. How do they keep them from creating havoc? By 1998, after 12 years in orbit, Russian space station Mir was showing its age. Power cuts were frequent, the computers unreliable, and the climate control systems were leaking. But when the crew began a study to assess the types of microbes they were sharing their living space, they were surprised at what they found. Opening an inspection panel, they discovered several globules of murky water, each around the size of a football. Later analysis revealed that water was teeming with bacteria, fungi, and mites. Even more concerning were the colonies of organisms attacking the rubberized seals around the space station's windows, and the acid-excreting bugs slowly eating the electrical cabling. Wow, I had no idea Mir was in such bad shape when they took it down. When each Mir module launched from Earth, it was near pristine, assembled in clean rooms by engineers wearing masks and protective clothing. All the unwanted life now living on the space station had been carried into orbit by the multinational group of men and women who subsequently occupied the orbiting laboratory. We share our lives and bodies with microbes, from bacteria lining our gut to the microscopic mites nibbling at our dead skin. This is interesting. It's estimated that more than half the cells in our human body aren't even human. Most of these microbes are not only harmless, but essential, enabling us to digest food and fend off disease. Everywhere we go, we take our microbiome with us, and just like humans, it's learning to adapt to life in space. That's very interesting. Space is a very stressful environment, and not just for humans, says Christine Mosel-Eichinger, who has led a recent European Space Agency, ESA, study into the International Space Station's, ISS, microbiome using samples collected by the astronauts and cosmonauts on board. Spaceflight causes stress for its crew members, and we wondered if the microbes would be stressed as well and react in a bad way. Her research is timely. By November this year, the ISS will have been occupied continuously for nearly 20 years. And as the world struggles with the COVID-19, here we go, everything ties right back into this, so I can't avoid it. And as the world struggles with the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic, it raises an interesting question. How do you keep a space station free of harmful bugs? After the experience of Mir, biologists have been concerned about what else might be living on board, and particularly any microbes that might endanger the station, or worse, the astronauts. We expected to see differences in the genetic makeup or the composition of the microbial community due to the adaptations they must have gone through, says Moisel-Eichinger from the Medical University of Graz in Austria. There's a picture of an astronaut floating around with apples and other foods. It's very interesting to see that. Almost looks like an art piece. The scientists found the ISS have developed a stable population of some 55 different types of microorganisms. But despite the lack of gravity, these bacteria, fungi, molds, and protozoa and viruses have adapted well to their surroundings. They weren't more resistant to antibiotics or had other potentially harmful traits to humans, said Moisel Eichinger. But we did find that they had adapted to all the metal surfaces. These metal-munching microbes are known as technophiles and, as with MER, could pose a long-term risk to space station systems. In the long run, this might result in difficulties with proper and safe management of the space station. It's up to the crew to keep the ISS microbiome population under control. Every week, astronauts are scheduled to wipe down surfaces with antimicrobial wipes and use vacuum cleaners to suck up any stray debris. This is on top of daily housekeeping and keep kitchen areas clean and prevent sweaty exercise gear and equipment from going moldy. We rely partially on astronauts to do the housekeeping, says Christophe Lesueur, who heads research into life support systems at ESA, but we also rely on technology to filter the air and keep the water clean. Lessons learned on Mir have been applied to the design and operation of the ISS. The environment is drier, life loves water, and there is much greater movement of air with a constant breeze blowing any dust towards a filter system. The main difference between being at home and on the ISS is that the dust won't settle but accumulates in the air vents. But also any other object like a pencil or a pair of glasses will be blown towards the air filter. In fact, anything not attached to the walls has a tendency to migrate. This is a very long article, and we're getting really close to the end here. So let's see here if we can. Well, it looks like essentially the idea is that they use air filters and microbial wipes to keep it from becoming overwhelmed with with a new microbiome. Fun fact: there are some 96 bags of human waste on the moon left behind 50 years ago by the Apollo astronauts. So that's interesting to know. But we're gonna end off here with a final video, I think. Let me stretch. There we go. We're gonna end up with end off with one video. I know it's been an animal-based episode today, but nothing raises my spirits at least. Nothing raises my spirits at least like an animal or a cute kitten, or even perhaps if you're into that sort of thing,
Tax prep without the office visit.
a possum.
It's better with block.
So let's watch a
They make a
possum.
lot of noise when you wake them up. There were a few days when I got them. There were 7 babies. Their hair was not there. Their eyes were so close. They were very tiny. When their eyes opened, they started to get a little bit of fur, and then they start getting personalities. Then it starts getting a lot more fun. You want to explore, you want to stay warm and cozy, you want to take a bath. Then you have those that want to eat all the time. Some of them just love to be held and to be cuddled. You can see their faces, they're just so sweet, and they're smiling. They're just very happy and content.
Look at them! Look at them!
They were dragging each other. And once they roll around in it, then they start licking their brother and sister. They're like, oh, that's good. It was days of them just rolling around in that milk and dragging each other. It's fun to watch, but it's very messy. Once they start laughing, that's when I get really excited. Because
Oh, look at
now it's so fun.
they're so cute. Oh.
They're a little bit bigger, then they're exploring. So you have to make sure you have different things in there every day for them to do. Different scents or smells.
They're getting pretty big.
the outdoor exposure, so you're providing everything that they need in the wild. They're exposed to all these different elements. They're starting to get used to what's outside. They are rocks, some oak trees, different branches. And by the time they're ready to go, they're opening their mouths like, oh, I'm going to bite you. That's perfect. That's what I want them to do. I start seeing them do that, then I know they're ready because they have developed one skill that they need in the wild that will help them survive. They live at night, wide open for predators during the day. They're always on the move. Right in that dusk period of time is when we'll open the doors and let them go. Once they all leave, we leave the door open for a few more days, so if they do come back, they will have food. The whole experience is rewarding, especially when they come in that level, because I get to watch each individual stage that they go through. I love it.
All right, well, that was absolutely adorable, and I think that's a great place to leave off. I hope that everybody who's had a chance to watch this on Twitch today has having a good day, and I hope that for those of you who are waiting to see it on YouTube later on today, I hope that you've had a good day, and that you will continue to have a good day throughout the rest of that day. And if you do enjoy this, make sure you hit the little bell icon. I know I have to say it because it's just something we do here, but hit the bell icon if you're on Twitch, and if you're on YouTube, you know, do all the YouTube things, like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. But this has been Voicebawx, and that's all I've got for you today. Alright, so see you later. I need to